So when I look at my life, some of the most valuable parts of it, you can't escape the fact that relationships are key. And you could call it your network, your community, whatever you want to call it. But I'm just constantly reminded of this because I traced back everything that led me to the people that I'm with now. And I mean, you could really trace it back to like just being born, being, with your parents and how you grew up. But like at the point in my life where I became more of like a self-directed person, I started making decisions on like, who do I want to meet? What do I want to do with my life? It was my network. It was a person I knew who knew another person who knew another person. And then we built a relationship, and then that led to another person and another person and so on and so forth, which led me all to here, where I now have literally thousands of people around the world who I would consider to be people close to me, where if I was in town, I could stay with them. I would trust them to come stay at my house and be around my wife and my son. Like, these are quality relationships. And I've got really good at this because I genuinely care. Like at the end of the day, like if you're lying and faking and bullshitting your way to success, you can't sustain it. That's why the stuff that I'm doing with Jessica and with everything we're doing as Self-Perfected Techno Tutor is all real. Despite all the trolls and all the shit that people say, because we're willing to challenge the system and say that there's a best way to educate people. There's a best way to live. There's a best way we can set up society. Not pretending like we have all the answers, but at least some clear basic principles. And what's been so great with this is that I have hundreds and hundreds of people who will back me up. Like when I say something that is, let's say, provocative, which isn't even provocative. It's just people nowadays are so damn brainwashed to be stupid that they'll fight stuff as simple as us saying like, hey, we need to evolve how we look at capitalism. And we're going to need to look at how education needs to change because AI made everything in standard education irrelevant, more irrelevant than it already was. And people will fight me on that. It's so funny. But nonetheless, how do you now insulate yourself from like the waves of the pushback you get? Because when you're standing up for something real, which is real purpose, the current reality that we're in is that there will be the Agent Smiths who fight you, who fight for it, who fight for the limitations. So you can insulate yourself from that by building a really, really badass network. And if you hear something in the background, that's my windshield wipers because I'm driving right now. Now, by the end of this episode, you're going to learn exactly how to leverage the Robin Dunbar research where he figured out tribes and how to have an ideal tribe. And you'll become you'll have the steps and the framework to become a master of connecting with people, to not just share your stuff with people, but also get your whole worldview expanded. Because if you're only talking to similar people to you and you're not getting new voices, new ideas into your realm, into your understanding, into your day-to-day, like, you're going to be limited. Of course, it doesn't mean now go just listen to everybody and go study everything. Like, you have to have obvious, like, priorities and shit. But do you see how having good people around you, people who like you, people who trust you, people who you would feel cool having your kids around and you'd want to be around them and their kids and like build legacy together, that kind of stuff. You want a framework for how to do that. Because if so, keep listening. If not, what the fuck are you doing with your life? So, I know I brought this up in other episodes and I'll continue to bring it up. But having a really systematic way of building out your network list, like have a spreadsheet or whatever it is, a place where it's like a repository, like a Rolodex, like old school people called it a Rolodex. It's your list of contacts of people who are the embodiment of that phrase, your network is your net worth. Now there's two parts on this. There's the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But I'm going to add to that. It's not what you know, it's who you know, but it's also who knows you. Because if you know 1,000 people, but they don't know you, good luck. If 1,000 people know you, there's something more to that, right? And these are people too that, like, you'll hear your network is your net worth, and then you look around at people around you, and you might see some people and you're like, wait, they're not rich yet, or whatever. Or maybe you don't know how to get around rich people. It's not about getting around rich people per se. Because I know a lot of rich people who are stupid and very limited and very cynical and just assholes. So it's not about that. It's about people looking at it with depth of vision and what is that person here to do? And on a deep beingness level, do they actually care? Do they care about more than just themselves or just money? Because a lot of people just care about money. And it's sad. They'll put money over purpose. I'm not saying give up your money. That's stupid and idiotic, obviously. You need money. But purpose first. Delayed gratification. So, what do you do with this? All right. First and foremost, you're going to need like a structure for this. So one is get yourself a spreadsheet and put all the names of the people that you know, and then put what do they do, and like if you can tell their like purpose or their goals or stuff that's important to them, get that down too. This would be a living, breathing document. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get something down where it's easily accessible. And then I would encourage you to, step 2 would be then put in your calendar like once a month. I just do it on the first of the month. Time to go back in and review this and add people to it. Because you're going to meet people, you're going to go out to events and stuff. And I honestly meet, like if I look at the past 2-3 weeks, I meet at least 15 cool people per 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, we run a badass meetup here where we get new people all the time. I'm talking to people on Facebook, Instagram all the time. So you got to schedule in a time. Because again, I'm playing the infinite game here. That's going to be another episode. But just the infinite game is realizing there's no finite amount of connections you're going to have. There's no finite amount of, once I do this and this, then I have success. Once I have $10 million, then I have success. No, it's the infinite game. It's you against you, quote unquote, you against you. But it's you evolving you growing you seeing that it's a never-ending journey of self-perfection, being the best version of yourself for world perfection, universal perfection. It's never going to end, because when we get there, there's going to be more to go. But there's going to be really epic milestones along the way where we can like end human suffering on Earth and cool stuff like that. All right, so that's the game I'm playing. So that's why I have this. That's why I do this. This is me living my purpose. And part of that is then building a structure so I actually follow through on the shit, whether I feel like it or not. So on the first of every month, I go back through, and that's also when I do my finances. I look at my network. And boom, for about 30 minutes, I go back through all my recent texts, all my recent messages, and usually throughout the month too, I just add people anyway. But it's just kind of like a catch-all point, okay? So there's that. Now, here's the next part. You got to figure out what you offer people. Why would people want to spend their time talking to you? If you message someone on Instagram, and all you people who, all you fuckers who imitate me, it's been more and more common nowadays, where people are like sending people Bitcoin shit and all that, and they're pretending to be me. It's like, it's kind of funny, because I guess as you have more success and you speak out more, it's like people imitate that. Whatever. I mean, I feel bad for that person because they're doing that to get money, but like, just how about actually listen to the content and apply it, and like join Self-Perfected and stuff. We have so much good free stuff. Like you can use that to make money, and then you can actually join us and solve the world's problems. But anyway, I digress. The other thing to then really look at is, like, when you're DMing people, I mean, we all know what it's like to get a cold DM of the person being like, hey, check out are you interested in financial freedom? It's like, not in the way that you're going to try and present it to me. So here's what's good to look at is get yourself clear on what can you do. Think of 10 different ways that you can reach out to somebody and have real value to add to them. Nobody wants your damn product. No one wants your damn service right away. People want rapport, trust, likability, familiarity to some extent. There's different levels of this. Now, if you're building a business and you have your go-to way of going out and going, let's say, quote unquote, hunting for leads, right? Some people get triggered even by that word, but it's like, just grow up. Like, we live in a world where you got to hunt stuff. Or go on a mission, let's say, and achieve your goal. There are ways where you can really effectively, quickly go do this. Like, you can go directly to the person. You can also find places where these people hang out. Like, if you're hunting and you're just randomly going into the middle of a desert, thinking that's where you're going to find animals, like, you should probably go where the water is, because that's where they're going to be. Go to where the situations are likely to be. Now, for those of you who want to now build this network, think of 10 different ways you can add value to people, reach out to people, talk to people, network with them, support them. Maybe you go on their posts and see what they care about and have a real genuine connection with that person right away. Maybe you can add value to them by sharing a podcast with them or a book with them or something that is relating to them. Remember, everyone's always asking, what's in it for me? That's why when I create these episodes, it's like with the episodes, I'm looking at what do people need to know that I have skill and experience in. I'm not making videos saying how to build your network in 10 simple steps based on some theory. It's like, this is what I did to establish a network, verifiable, over thousands of people around the world. So it's like speaking from experience. And as you do this, and you get really good at this, now you'll have different ways to talk to people, add value to them right away, and then they love that, and then you build a relationship over time. So that's the next part is, think of the different ways you can add value to people. And then here's the final part, and then I'll close it out with a little example for you. The final part is figure out the stuff that you will always be able to talk about and crush it. Like, for me, I have a couple things I always talk about, like mindset, like productivity, business, family, legacy, that kind of stuff. And then the other stuff that works really well is just like, it's like learning and putting ideas together. I love that stuff. Like, it's life-giving to me. I enjoy it. So find stuff that's life-giving to you, and it doesn't necessarily feel like work per se. It's kind of like if you're at a party and you just want to talk to someone, what's some of the stuff that you could just enjoy talking about like all the time? Like, shout out my friend JJ. He makes music. He's really good. And that is like something that he can also factor in, like his purpose and everything too. So there's that piece. But now to bring it all together. So again, you get your network list of the people that you're going to meet. You're playing the long-term game. So you might have 10 people on there right now. But it'll grow and grow. You get people people you know really well, people that you just met, people you want to build a relationship with, so you got that. Then you got to now factor into like having a time where you update this. Otherwise, it's just going to be another damn note in your list of damn notes. And nothing changes. So you got to build that in, have integrity, keep your word, build the thing. And you got to know why to do it. This is like, find my episode, I think it's episode 4, where I talk about like how to keep a vision, keep a goal, even when times are rough. That'll help you with this. And then you got to figure out all the different ways. Like, get creative with this. What are different ways that you can start talking to people in a way? Like, how would you want to be approached? Do you just want someone to pitch you randomly? Or do you want someone to like genuinely reach out, build a relationship with you, add value, and just like talk to you without the intention of trying to sell you? Like, not everyone, but a lot of people are in survival mode nowadays. And they're just looking for like a quick, oh, hey, let me pitch you my product or whatever. It's like, no, hell no. So you got that piece. So you got your 10 different ways to reach out to people, and it'll keep evolving. And then you have the things that you like, you stand for, that you love talking about. And when you have this now, you've begun the process of having a network. And it's pretty cool because here's like two last points that really encapsulate the value of this. One is Robin Dunbar. He's a sociologist. He would research tribes, and he figured out that humans can handle about 150 connections, and that makes a tribe. Where 150, everyone can really know each other. But then after 150, it kind of splits into two tribes. Now, it's not like if the tribe actually had principles and everyone was highly educated, you'd be like playing on a different level. But just for simplicity's sake, let's say 150 is like typically the number that's thrown around for like a network in a tribe. So you can become really good at connecting with these 150 people. But then also think about this. You can have a bunch of loose ties to like, let's say 1,000 people. And then they all know 1,000 people who then know 1,000 people. That's 1 billion people right there due to the network effects. So pretty cool to think about. Like what you do can have that level of ripple and impact. And when you have your purpose aligned with what's best for all, and you're aware of the reality of how things work, how networks are critical, how community is critical, and you're adding value to people, and you're opening doors, that kind of thing. You're introducing people to each other. Like you go through your network list and you now see like 3 people who should know each other, and you add value to them by just connecting them. People don't forget that. Like that's literally how we put together couples that are now like married and they have kids. So a lot can come from this. Like don't sleep on this episode, okay? And if you found value from this, please like this, comment, share it, because that helps boost it up in the algorithm. Yeah, I mean, this stuff that I spent a lot of money to learn, like, I mean, you know from episode 1, my goal with this is I'm here to create a world that's best for everyone. And the way to do that is by helping everyone who's listening to this get really freaking effective at building networks, business, community, things like that. And I'll have a future episode on something called Juntos, which is from Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, explaining how to use this. But that's more like I might save that for the in-person events. I don't know. I'll decide on that one later. But run with this. Use it, implement it, and your life will never be the same because you literally build an economy and a network all around you. And then you can really go to the next level. All right, cool. Thanks for listening.